Are you ready?
Yeah, man,
I don't even know where to start.
I'm ready. What's the name of our show?
Welcome to the very first episode of the Shrink Tank Show. We don't know what we're calling this yet. We're gonna still figure this out. But who do I have the pleasure to sit here with today?
Hey, Brandon. My name is Ian. I am a licensed professional counselor,
Okay.
Avid sports fan. Not a big YouTuber,
Okay.
but
Okay.
We'll get into why that's important.
And my name is Brandon. I am the 4-time World Shrink Tank Boxing Champion. No, I just market for Shrink Tank. But so we're here today, and we are talking about the KSI versus Logan Paul 2 fight. So for those of you who don't know, this is the second time they fought. But before we get into all that, why are we even talking about this?
Why are we talking about it, and why do we even care? What are we talking about, first of all? We're talking about a boxing match
Right.
that was done by two amateur fighters, right? So this
Not
was
even
done...
fighters.
Yeah, you're right.
YouTubers. They weren't even fighters. That was
Yes. So why do we care about this? This actually has been sort of transformation for this sport of boxing in an era where they are struggling to bring in like new, younger viewers. And
True.
so what's happening is we are seeing two personalities who were really born on YouTube, Vine, where their followers have been able to identify, grow with them, become a part of their journey on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then they started hating each other.
We don't even really know why, do we? They just
no,
or they just called each other out. Yeah, I mean, it could be for money, it could be for clout. We don't know.
It could be.
Yeah,
exactly. But the bottom line is we love it. Like
yes.
We eat this up. The idea that we can connect to people who are people rather than just boxers
right.
seems to draw in the younger crowd. Like they've done interviews with, of course, the pre-boxing press conferences.
Oh yeah, where they like talk trash and they get in each other's face.
Yeah, the weigh-ins and all
exactly.
this wonderful stuff. But the young people are so interested in seeing Logan Paul be able to get redemption, and we'll touch on that a little bit more as we go. And KSI, seeing his transformation into the fighting world, and so we care about it partially because, A, we know these people. Right. They've been grown up since KSI started when YouTube started.
Yeah,
right?
pretty
so
much.
The YouTube
generation.
Been around
forever.
Yeah. And it's also super fascinating to watch two people who are very controversial in their own right.
Yes.
Punch each other.
It's just they're. Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's that little bit of like I told you this earlier. People are picking sides, and I think it's very interesting. You touched on this a little bit, but boxing as a sport, like you think of a sport like basketball or football, and you have a team you can market. Right. Boxing, it's just yourself. Mm-hmm. So I think what's so interesting about this and why this is captivating so many people is they're influencers. Yeah. Like they instead of having to rely on boxing's audience, they are bringing their audience to boxing. The first thing we're talking about is kind of like the history about the fight, and then we're kind of going to go into each individual fighter. So for those of you who do not know, this is not the first time they fought. They did fight, I think it was in 2018 in Manchester. That was KSI versus Logan Paul 1. And actually on the undercard, both of their little brothers fought each other. Which had, that's a whole different level of stuff. But so, the first fight was a draw. Yep. And I think that's a really big, one of a very big driving factors to this fight. Yeah. Because somebody wanted to win. Right. And what makes this fight different is that first fight they had, is it heavier gloves? It was heavier gloves and headgear. Yep. And now they're professional fighters. Right. So it's lighter gloves, no headgear. Right.
They are approved by the state of California.
Yes.
Sporting association that they are professional. So they have on the undercard. They're not amateurs. These are other professional boxers
that is insane.
That are taking place.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, when Brandon mentioned influencers before.
Yeah.
These guys each have around 20 million YouTube followers.
Yes, they're both huge.
I mean, talk about influencing people watching and eyes, but we in America, we don't do very well with ties and nuance and gray area.
No.
So when we have a boxing match against two controversial people, we don't want to see that they both shake hands and go home tied, right?
Yeah.
Somebody
wants to see a knockout.
We want to see somebody wheeled off there. And so I think that's part of the huge draw.
Mm-hmm.
Is they're putting so much effort into this.
Yeah.
Into this second fight. And they are wanting to have this thing be so like taken seriously.
And it's going to be, like, the first one was dubbed the biggest internet event history ever. And I think this one is probably going to follow up with that one.
Yes. They had over 1 million pay-per-view views. Did they disappear?
Our guys disappeared. We'll take it out in post.
The black cat from Monday Night Football is still on the loose.
Is it really?
That's an ESPN.
The black cat is still on the loose. That thing is going viral.
Oh, it's crazy.
I've never seen a cat. I've seen a squirrel in a stadium, but not a cat.
A black cat of all. Yeah.
On Halloween, too?
Yeah.
Okay.
When they did this first fight, they had 1 million views of a pay-per-view fight at $10 a pop from YouTube.
I paid $10 for that, actually.
Yes.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what boxing has found is that's an incredible draw.
Yeah.
So it's amazing who's getting their hands in this.
And who's
in
next?
The pot this time. Yeah. Yeah, this is, I don't think this is going to be a one-off that they just fight and...
No. I mean, you go through all the work to become a professional fighter.
Yeah.
Just to fight each other once. I don't think it's these two individuals we're about to go to in a second. I mean, it's not like they just threw on gloves. Like, they've been training for a year and a half, like hardcore training, cardio, strength training, boxing. Like they're ready to go. They are full on athletes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they've hired professional boxing coaches. It's crazy.
Yeah. So let's take a deeper look. We're going to dive into kind of the psychology of these two people and their mental state going into this fight, because there's a lot to assess here. So
a lot.
Starting with Logan Paul.
It's Logan, the Maverick Paul.
So a little bit of background information on Logan Paul. 24 years old, from Ohio. He has an athletic background, and he's been a wrestler, playing all sorts of sports. I think he was like an all-state linebacker or something crazy like that. In 2014, he became a household name, mainly from Vine. Mm-hmm. Had about 3.1 million followers across all socials. And get this, in 2014, so about 5 years ago, he only had 150,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
So he's grown very rapidly in 5 years.
Yes.
And there's a few reasons as to why.
Yeah.
When Vine died off, and for those of you who don't know, Vine was a less cool TikTok. When Vine died off, Logan Paul really started to focus on YouTube. So fast forward to December 31st, 2017, he uploaded the infamous Suicide Force video in Japan. Gained a lot of traction, over 6 million views in 24 hours.
Yes.
We're not going to talk too much about that, but I did want to make a note of it because it is important as to why he's doing this. And then as of late, from late 2018 till 2019, it's kind of been the redemption of the Maverick through his podcasting, through boxing, through all that kind of stuff. Ian, why the hell is Logan Paul boxing? He doesn't need to be boxing. Why is he doing this?
Yeah, from someone who owns a $6.6 million mansion in LA.
Yeah.
Why on earth is he switching from YouTube videos? And the videos that he's making are based off of essentially Jackass is where they started, right?
Yeah.
These goofy videos where they're doing stunts, him and his brother. So how on earth has he gotten this shift from being kind of like this goofy kid who's finding his way to now all of a sudden I'm super serious.
Right.
I'm going to be fighting. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to call Conor McGregor next. Like, just he's taken this to a level that we didn't really expect.
No.
So Logan Paul is a fascinating person.
He is very fascinating.
He's a fascinating person, and not necessarily for some of the reasons of his antics or, his videos, but it's fascinating how he views himself. So he talks about this idea of redemption and what does redemption mean, and he's done some interviews where he's talked about, well, boxing has gotten me out of, this hole, or boxing is my redemption, and he has a hard time from the interviews that I've read of identifying what he's being redeemed from. Right? And so it's fascinating to watch his growth. He'll reference himself as the new Logan.
I have noticed that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I haven't heard him say the new Logan, but I have heard him say that was the old Logan.
Yes, that's a great clarification. Yeah, that was the old Logan. So what does that mean? And Because a lot of his behaviors, especially when him and KSI are trading insults and stuff, are very much reminiscent of the guy that we watched on YouTube who was being...
He never left,
Right, he was being vulgar and derogatory. But there is a part of him that's now taking this seriously, where he is putting something, like putting work into something that... Not that he didn't work at YouTube before, but it's much more serious and it's much more intentional than it was before. So part of what's fascinating is when I was doing some research on this, is I saw this article where he, after this Suicide Forest video, is he no longer made videos every day. Right, so he had said that there was one point in his career when he was doing videos and he was making he did 500 days of vlogging. So video blogging, that is every day. They said...
Every day, bro.
It's every day, bro, with the Disney Channel flow.
Essentially, 80% of his life was lived on
a camera.
In a public eye. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about redemption, Logan Paul's one super... big mistake was going into the Suicide Forest and uploading this, or at least public mistake. Let's clarify that. But it's so interesting watching somebody who's trying to redeem themselves from one mistake that they made, right? And how he has sought validation from others his entire life. He talks about it in some of his interviews where he's saying essentially, I'm now focusing on building like a skill rather than building subscribers. And so what does that say about a person who seeks validation and acceptance from videos? If my videos aren't getting views, if I'm not getting new subscribers, what is it like for me when I have a significant drop in viewership and essentially attention? Right? And so how much of this is redemption, or how much is it him trying to rebuild some of that old following that he's used to?
He's done a lot of crazy things. His brother's done a lot of crazy things. But I would agree, like his first real public mistake was that video. And an interesting quote, I can't remember if it was from him or his mom who said this. It was in his actually the boxing documentary that he just released. He released the whole boxing documentary. One of them said that his entire life he's been catching W's. He's been winning in everything he's ever done. And to his credit, I mean, he has been. He's apparently been really well at sports. He was super successful on Vine. Super successful on YouTube. And then he caught his first L, so his first loss, which was that video. And I think he cannot shake that off. He tried a lot of different things. Like he tried to release the day after, he released an apology video. People were saying some messed up things in the comments. A couple of days later, he tried to raise awareness for suicide. People thought it was just a stunt to rebuild his image. Do you think that there is such thing as a new/old Logan Paul? Or do you think that because of all the stuff he's been through, he has to not be himself? He has to try to be a better version of the public eye until he wipes this L away?
No, I think that's a great question it's kind of that old idea of like, am I sorry? Or am I sorry I got caught? Right?
Exactly.
And I do think, I do see from what he shows us is, I do see that there is some change in what he's doing. Right? We all are human. We will go through like this cyclical change of when I'm trying to do something differently, I'm going to slip up. Right? And I think he said that in some of his interviews. Like I that was the old Logan that was in there. And first, if we're trying to make a change, we've got to recognize when we mess up. And so I do think there is some change in there. Is he perfect at it? Is he a completely different person? No. But is there an effort there that we can see? I do believe there is an effort there, and I think
so too.
Yeah, and I think part of it is, I mean, if we go back and look, I mean, he's 24. He is still trying to find out who the heck he is.
Yeah.
And so part of that is going to be making mistakes, and part of that is going to be understanding in his developmental process that this is not going to be his only L. Let's be very clear.
He might get one
that.
Saturday. We don't know.
Right.
But,
that's right.
And I'd love to see what happens with that.
What is that reaction?
Yeah.
So I think that's so important. Is that part of it is this like intensity with which he's trying to rebuild his image, and is that sustainable if I don't do well at something else? Is that sustainable? And so, yeah, I do think there is some change in there.
We've talked a lot about Logan Paul, so let's go over to across the, what ocean is that between us and the UK?
Oh God, the Atlantic? It's got to be.
Let us know in the comments below. So let's go across the ocean to Mr. KSI. KSI, he is 26 years old.
Yep.
He's from London.
Yep.
He has a background in video games, comedy, and music. So as you see here, from everything that I looked into, I saw no athletic background from him, no sports, nothing. Yeah. And actually, he went to what is considered a proper school in the UK. It was a fee-paying independent school. So he grew up in a seems like a very nice household, good background.
Yep.
In 2018, he started growing his own personal brand by uploading FIFA videos on YouTube. He used to upload all these comedy skits and tips on how to get better at FIFA. That was in 2008. So as you see, he has a lot longer of a documented career than Logan Paul does. Yeah. In 2013, he switched from gaming to comedy. And in 2015, so a year later, he was like, I want to do music. Yeah. And then he started rapping and making music videos. Fast forward to 2017, he wanted to focus on boxing. Very interesting path he's taken, and we'll touch on that in a second.
It's not a linear.
But in 2017, he actually fought and beat Joe Weller in the first ever YouTuber boxing match.
The Joe Weller, huh?
The Joe Weller, which is why on his when you Google his name, it says YouTube boxing champion. But an interesting point I want to make about KSI with his background transition is throughout his entire career, he was just like, I want to do that. Mm-hmm. And he was good at it.
Yeah.
So he started off in gaming. He's like, I want to make gaming videos online. Yeah. Crushed it. Now he's like, you know what? I want to get into comedy. Crushed it. I want to get into music. Crushed it. So he's coming in with this mentality of everything I do, I'm the best at. Mm-hmm. So why is boxing any different?
Yeah.
So let's talk about KSI.
Yeah. So why should it be any different, right? Because he beat Joe Weller. Him and Logan Paul had a draw. Mm-hmm. And so it's fascinating to look at KSI as, like, you know, he's done some interviews too where he's talking about, like, when we look at this fight, is him winning the fight the win he's looking for? Because I've read...
That's a good question.
Yeah, because I've read some articles that might... and some interviews that might suggest otherwise.
Yeah.
That he's got... From my understanding, he's got a pretty strong standing in the UK, in Europe.
Huge following. Huge, like, the whole country embraces this dude. Yeah. And
from my understanding, he saw a business opportunity. Let me get into Logan Paul's fame, right? So let me jump the pond, right, and see what I can do there. So when I'm approaching this fight, I'm looking at, okay, is the victory, sure, knocking Logan Paul out. He's not. That would get us a lot of views, a lot of clicks, a lot of subscribers. That's right. He's not going to be upset, but it kind of goes back to the old idea of is there anything, like, is any press good press?
Yeah.
Right? For him, if I'm getting clicks and likes on my stuff, if someone comes to my page because I got knocked out, is that a victory for me? Right? Yeah. If I get a subscriber out of this because they like my music, because they see an old gaming video, they've seen some of my comedy, is that a victory?
Yeah.
And so I think it's fascinating where we've got such a stark contrast. Like,
they're so different and so similar.
So it's amazing, and I think that's what is so fascinating about this. Is Logan is like, I want to be redeemed, and KSI, from what we can tell, is like, man, I'm gonna use you. You're gonna be my stepping stone, right? These are stepping stones for him to something better.
For sure.
I don't necessarily know what that is.
I don't think he knows what it is. I do think KSI, and there's two things too. Something I forgot to mention, but I do think KSI sees this as an opportunity to, like you said, grow, be the person he wants to be, and then find the next avenue he wants to tackle.
Yeah.
He was also going through a lot of stuff in the last year and a half with him and his brother Deji, because they had a lot of there was a lot of family drama, like a lot of like, for some holidays he got kicked out of his own house. Him and his brother were, because they are both in the public image, like, all of their beef was settled online between videos. It wasn't in the private. So I think this might be a good escape for him too.
There are so many things out there that he is absolutely at a place where he's at a crossroads, right?
Yeah.
Like his brother, just as you said at the beginning, his brother and Jake Paul fought before, right? They were in each other's corner,
Yeah.
and now he's more isolated.
Yeah.
Right? And so even from this context of how much am I willing to isolate myself to get to my next goal? Right? Am I willing to put the expense of my family and my significant relationships in my life to tackle the next thing? What am I willing to run over? What am I willing to push away and sacrifice to get where I want? And that can happen with people who are very successful, is that it doesn't matter.
They get caught up in it.
That's right. And you see some of those patterns as he goes. If I am, again, it kind of goes back with Logan Paul. If I am used to being accepted and praised for what I do, no matter what I do, why should I expect anything different?
Where's that limit too?
Yeah.
When will I stop getting the praise?
Right. And then what happens after I stop getting it? I think KSI's got a lot writing on this as well.
Yeah.
From a lot of different perspectives. So, all right. So we didn't quite mention this at the beginning, but we are both planning on committing some time to this fight. So we are going to watch and buy the fight.
we're going to watch the whole thing. It'll be where we are on the East Coast. It'll be midnight tomorrow, or no, Saturday
night.
Saturday midnight.
So early Sunday morning.
Yes.
Thank God we're not in the UK because it's airing at like 4 a.m. So
yeah. Do you think Logan Paul planned that? Have some less of the audience of JJ. Yeah.
Right?
Ian, we here at Shrink Tank, since it's the intersection of pop culture and psychology,
Yeah.
we really focus on the bronze. You know, we don't. No, wait.
No, the bronze. Keep with the bronze. Yeah.
The brains. We focus on the brains, not the bronze. So based on everything we discussed today,
Yeah.
between KSI
Yeah.
and Logan Paul,
Yeah.
who do you have winning this fight?
Oh man. So this is full disclosure here. I didn't know a whole lot about the first fight.
Okay.
So this is going to be based off my super in-depth knowledge of Rough and Rowdy.
Yes, Barstool.
Yes,
Barstool Rough
yes,
and Rowdy.
yes,
That's the
yes.
greatest thing ever.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that is going to be
Why don't
my
they just go on Rough and Rowdy? Why are they making this like...
I don't know. My super unbiased, uninformed opinion is going to be Logan Paul.
All right. Logan Paul,
Yes.
the Maverick.
The Maverick will redeem himself.
You know what? I'm going to make this a little fun. And I am going to go with KSI. KSI,
Alright.
in this fight, he is the only undefeated fighter at 1-0. And I think at the Staples Center, he's going to go 2-0.
He's going to go
So-
2-0.
I'm going to... Want to make a bet on it?
Yeah, I was just thinking that we could let people vote, like on options of the bet. So we could throw out some options and let people vote and see what.
Okay.
We'll set the options. We're not gonna let you just free for all pick.
No,
the
you guys
options.
are setting all the options. You guys are doing whatever you guys want to do. So I'm gonna go Team KSI.
Yep.
I'm abandoning the United States.
That's right.
I'm gonna go
That's
KSI.
right.
Ian's going
I've got the hometown.
Logan the Maverick Paul.
That's right.
And I'm going KSI the Nightmare KSI. What's his real name? Do you even know his real name? Is it a JJ? I don't know. But...
I will butcher it no matter what.
And you guys let us know in the comments below who you think's gonna win the fight. Saturday night. Staples Center. Or Sunday morning for those of you in the UK.
That's right.
So
and we will see you back Monday.
Yeah.
To break down this,
whatever is happening.
This epic event.
As always, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Ian.
And this was the Shrink Tank Show. That's right, Logan Paul. We're coming for you. We're coming for you, Logan Paul.
Oh, I didn't see the picture of KSI's abs.
Do you see that?
Come on, man.